Hello everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm broadcasting to you live from beautiful Budapest, Hungary. Again, my name is Adrian and this is a live class. Today we are looking at an IELTS Task 2 writing, agree or disagree, June 21st, 2018. Hi Baljeet, hi Arcana, nice to see you in there. Hesped, to be a sponsor, you need to click on the sponsor button in the channel and then you'll come up green like Baljeet and Arcana will, okay? Hi everyone, if you cannot hear me or if you cannot see the board clearly behind me, please say something so I can adjust the technology on my end. Otherwise, we will get going here. Materials for academic IELTS, please visit us at aehelp.com. And for general IELTS, please visit us at gieltshelp.com. And if you haven't done so already, go to your Google Play Store and download our app. You got lots of free materials there. The app name is Academic IELTS Help. You'll see this logo. Go ahead, download it, install it, and start using it and improve your IELTS band score. To get the best help, join our full course. All right. Girls and guys, let's get going here. This question today is coming from one of our sponsors. If you're a sponsor, you have a chance to request certain topics or certain classes. I think this one was maybe your request, Baljeet. I'm not sure. Hesped, if the sponsor button is not available in your country, that's YouTube. Unfortunately, I cannot do anything about that. If you're looking for IELTS speaking interview practice, you can also set that up with me. Just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. That's a paid service. There's writing and editing available on our websites as well. Okay, so here's our schedule for the next few days. Today, again, task 2. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at a speaking section, and then we'll be doing a reading section the day after. And then we'll have a sponsor chat class only on the 24th. It'll be a task 2, and then there will be no classes on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so let's look at this task 2 question. Here we go. Hopefully you can see that clearly. Abhi, you can become a sponsor by clicking the sponsor button on the channel page. It's beside the subscribe button. If you see it there, if you don't, it's because it's not available in your country. Hi, Manisha. Good to see you in class as well. Okay, so here's our question. It's task 2. Task 2 is the last task in your IELTS for the sit-down part of the test. So you're mentally quite fatigued by this time. You've done about an hour of listening, an hour of reading. You've done 20 minutes for task 1 writing, for a graph or a chart if it's academic. If it's general, you were doing a letter writing or something similar. And then you get to task 2. Task 2 is quite similar for both the academic and the general versions. You have 40 minutes. Make sure you save 40 minutes for task 2. They do not tell you the time in the writing section, so you have to pay attention. And then you'll get a question which will be something of this nature. Present a written argument or case to an educated reader with no specialist knowledge of the following topic. So you have to think about your reader, that they're smart, they're like an alien from another planet, they have good thinking ability, but they don't know what you know. And then you see the question. The key to solving environmental problems is for the present generation to sacrifice their convenient way of life for the sake of future generations. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. That means that you need to write minimum 250 words to have task completion. If you write less than 250 words, you will start losing marks. They do count the number of words that you have. I know that a lot of you have exams coming up, so good luck with that. Hesped, that is not a good answer for this. So when you have a question like, do you agree or disagree, you should not partially agree. You should not partially disagree. It makes a weak essay, and it usually makes for an awkward essay that has difficulty to get a high band score. So here, a very important part of the question here is or disagree. It's not how much do you agree or to what extent, okay? There's another type of question in task 2 that says to what extent do you agree or disagree. That one you can say that I completely agree, I partially agree, but this one says or. All right, do you agree or disagree with this statement? So you have to choose one side, okay? It's very important that for this type of question, you either choose agree or you choose disagree, but not both, okay? Choose one, not both. We will discuss this, why and how, in more detail in a moment. So, again, first tip here for this kind of question. Okay, so for this type of question, you must either agree or disagree, but not both, okay, or not partially. Makes a weak essay. All right, so as many of you students know that are already watching these classes for the last few weeks, task 2 is a persuasive essay written in first-person voice. Okay, persuasive means that your goal is to convince your reader of your ideas. So you make an argument, you give an idea or an opinion, and your goal is to persuade. Persuade means to convince the audience, okay? So if I'm trying to convince you that an electric car is better than a gas car, then I am being persuasive that electric cars are better than gas cars. So this is a persuasive essay, and it's first-person voice, which means you write as yourself. So in my opinion, I believe, in my situation, myself considered, and so forth, okay? So convince your reader as yourself. All right, then what should you do? So you're looking at the question, and what do you need to do before you begin writing? And you'll see with this example how important this step really is for task 2. So what should I do? What should I do? So you want to understand the question, Jeffrey. That's right. And Mohammed says, well, you should do that by paraphrasing. By the way, I love those blue symbols coming up from our sponsors. That means they've been sponsoring us for over a month now, so thank you for that. Paraphrase the question. So the key to solving environmental problems. What's another way to say this question? Can you try to paraphrase it for me? Eunice, absolutely. You're on the right track. So you're paraphrasing the question. By paraphrasing the question, you make sure you understand it, you collect good vocabulary, and you start your brain on thinking about the right ideas. As well, often the paraphrase will be good as part of the background in the introduction. So, yeah, the way of solving Zokra is a good way to begin it. The major task to figure out solutions to environmental challenges. Is for, what's another way to say present generation? Simple. Present, you can use current. Generation is a little bit tricky, so you can keep it. 2, what's another way to say sacrifice? Yeah, existing generation would be okay as well. What's another way to say sacrifice? There's some phrasal verbs for that. Forgo is okay as well, Jeffrey. Forgo is a very nice one. Give up. That's right, Pratik. Shrestha. Is give up is a phrasal verb. Good. It's simple to give up. There. What's another way to say convenient? What would be a good synonym for convenient way of life? How can I say convenient way of life in another way? What would be a good way to... Easy is okay, handy, suitable, or a little bit different here. Jeffrey, good question. Yes, comfortable works as a good synonym in this context. So comfortable and existence. I think somebody write that up as well. They're comfortable existence for the... How do I say for the sake of future generations? Naitik, nice to see you jumping in there as well. So what's a way to say for the sake of future generations? Manilin Manzano, very nice. Yeah, for the benefit of the next generation. Or you could say for the benefit of children or our children would be another way, because the next generation is our children. So here we go. All right, great. So very good. We've done the paraphrasing. Now we're clear on the question. We know we understand it well. We look at the do you agree or disagree. So we know that we need to choose one aside. And now we need to do some critical thinking. So planning. Remember, a little bit of planning goes a long way. It seems like you're wasting time, but you're really not. So 3 or 4 minutes of good planning will not only save you time, but will lead to a better essay. So it will not only save you time, but will also result in a higher quality essay, okay? Think about it like when you're traveling to another country. You don't try to save time by not planning your trip to another country. So you don't just go, oh, I want to go to Australia. Great, I'm going to save some time. I'm not going to plan anything. I'm going tomorrow, so I'm going to wait until tomorrow. I'll just grab my suitcase. I'll throw everything in from my closet right now. I'll close it up. Taxi to the airport. Hey, I want to buy a ticket. Awesome. I'm on the plane. Let's go. We're off to Australia. You might have a lot of surprises along the way. You might have difficulty finding that plane ticket. You probably will pay a lot of money for it. You have no idea where you're staying in Australia when you arrive. You're going to waste a lot of time searching for an available hotel, especially if it's a celebration or something. So what do? You plan, right? You plan your trip. You plan your ticket, you plan your lodging, you invest your time so that you have a better experience, a higher quality experience, and that you save time while you're actually executing your trip. Same idea when you're writing an essay, okay? A little bit of time spent on good planning will save you time in the 40 minutes and will give you a much better essay. Keep that in mind, girls and guys. It's very important. Don't just start writing with catchphrases. It's not the right way to get a high score in IELTS, all right? So we need to do a little bit of critical thinking, all right? So here... let's start with the topic, which is the environment, right? So topic, environment, controlling idea is give up luxury for future environment. Because obviously if we do that, then the future generation will have a better opportunity for existing in a sustainable environment, right? So what is the environment? So we keep this simple. What is the environment? It is nature, plants, animals, water, land, air, okay? That's your environment. It's where you live. It's the plants that you live with, the nature, the animals that are in that nature, the water that feeds us, that allows us to sustain life, the air that we breathe, and of course the plants and the animals that we eat, right? So why? Simple, important for survival. How? Breathe, eat, drink. Okay. I'm doing this myself. Usually ask students to contribute there, but I did this myself to show you that when you know what you're doing, you practice these skills at home, you can be very quick. It can take you just 15, 20 seconds to write down these ideas about the topic and about the what, why, how. So the critical thinking aspect of it. Okay, so now you're thinking of the environment, you're thinking about present, you're thinking about future. Okay, so from here we get into the more tricky part, which is the controlling idea. So here, what's the right question? Asking the right questions for the controlling idea is very important. So what is the right question for the controlling idea? What should I ask here for the what question? Okay, what should I be asking here as the right question to give me a good idea of how I can answer this essay? Remember, success on the IELTS in many ways is not just about giving the right answer, it's about asking the right question. Exactly, Jeffrey, that's a good one. Manisha, also a very good one. So what are those life comforts that we should give up? So great, that is the right question. What are the, Pro Safa, nice to see you in class. I don't think I've seen you in a while. Again, right question. What's the criteria that we must sacrifice in order to save the environment? So what's the answer? What do we need to give up? What is this question aiming for? What do we need to give up in order to help the environment? So what's the answer? What's the answer here? Okay, Jeffrey says we need to give up our cars, our clothes. All right, let's put that down for a minute. So transportation, like cars, okay, possible. Clothing or vices, basic needs. I don't think so, Marasa. You give up your basic needs, you can't survive. Your basic needs are food, shelter, water. Saving electricity, that's going to be the how, jubilant. So again, the why is what Sai Brakta is answering to reduce pollution. So we have to give up transportation, cars, excessive shopping, too many clothes, or objects, sure. Overeating, eating an unnecessary amount of calories or meat. Sure. So again, if you're thinking quickly, using less water, Manisha, sure. Okay. Sure. So now you're noticing that, hey, wait a second, if I'm practicing this and I think quickly, then I can definitely figure out some good answers to this. All right, sure, that's good so far. If there are some students joining in right now and you're not sure what we're talking about, we're doing a task 2 IELTS writing question. The question is in the stream description, and we're just doing the critical thinking. So my next question is a little bit easier. Why do I need to give these up? And the answer is for less pollution and to save sustenance needs for the next generation, right? So they still have water, they still have usable land for farming, and so on. So how? Okay. How can I do this? Not using cars, not eating too much, okay? Using less electricity, turning off tap water. Okay, so here I just kind of blasted through the why and the how so that we can really get going on this. Now, I have an important question for you, okay? And look at all those smart answers coming up in the chat. Colette says use ecosystems. Lytton says use solar energy. Nemo says reduce the number of cars, increase the number of public transportation. Himanashu says, yeah, we need to use more public transportation. Use renewable resources, right? So those are great answers for the how, right? So solar energy, reusable coffee cups, okay, and so on. Lots of great examples here from real life. You should realize that you will be using some of these for your examples in your body paragraphs. All right, so now let me ask you a really important question here. Can anybody guess what my really important question here is? So I'm going to try to give you a hint. If we go back to the original question, it says, do you agree or disagree with this statement that I have to give up my comforts, my conveniences in order to save the environment for the next generation? Okay? So, do you think I have to give it up? So what's my question here? I kind of spoiled it for you there, but there is a really important question that I have to give up or I have to ask here. It's an interesting one. You might be surprised by my answer here. Do I really have to give up my comforts? Do I really have to give up my conveniences to save the environment for the future? So is that actually important? And I see some of you are saying no. Okay? Baljit's saying no. Kaur is saying no. Preet says, yeah, yes. Haspit's saying no. Manolin is saying just balance and minimize. Okay, I agree. So I think that I don't actually have to give up my comfort in order to help the environment for the next generation. So the surprising answer here, if you're planning and really thinking about this, you could argue it the other way, but I actually think that it's pretty easy to argue this way. No, I do not have to sacrifice my convenient way of life for future people. Okay? Why? What do I need to do instead? Okay? So if I don't have to give up my convenient way of life, then what do I actually have to do? Okay? Keep it simple, guys. Baljit, focus, Baljit. Come on, stay on task here. Maybe you're a little bit tired today, you're exhausted, you're going more on the comic side, but just really, really focus on the answer here, okay? So Amar says find alternatives, right? Find alternatives. What are my alternatives? What do I need to change? Okay, keep it simple. Remember, you're looking for two good key points, okay? So you are looking for two good key points to disagree with this statement. And when I give you these, I think a lot of you will say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so what do I need to do? Visualize. Girls and guys, don't forget your visual power, okay? I know you have a lot of media, TV, cell phones, computers that's blocking your ability to see the world, to see information, but you have to unlock that part of your brain where you're visualizing and seeing information to help you be intelligent communicators. So Hesped says, limit the use of things, recycle. Okay, so recycling, reusing, and reducing, that's changes in behavior. Okay, so one of the things I can do to save the environment is change my behavior. For example, if I'm brushing my teeth, I don't just let the water run while I'm brushing my teeth or shaving, but I turn it off while I'm shaving. Just imagine if everybody turned off the water while they're shaving or while they're brushing their teeth, how many billions of liters of water we would save on just that one change in behavior. So change in behavior, Baljit, is absolutely correct. What's the other change that I need to make? Think about cars. So think about cars. Again, I'm using my visual powers here. And girls and guys, truth be told, this question was suggested by one of our sponsors. I've never seen it before. I've never taught it before. I've never given an example before. So I'm in the same position as you. It's all new to me, just like you. So I'm visualizing the information. I'm using critical thinking to come up with powerful answers. So you're saying use public transportation instead of cars. Yes, that's kind of behavior still. There's Arcana with a very smart answer. Use electric cars. So a lot of people today in the world still use gas-powered cars. So if we change gas-powered cars to electric cars, then we're saving the environment. So we're polluting the air much less. It's much less pollutive, or much less pollution. So what can we change? So we can change our behavior, and we can change what else? Keep it simple. Think about the big general system. Gary, solar system is another good point for this. Not our actions. Actions is the same as behavior and Silabani, so you don't want to give the same answer. Keep it simple. Not our resources. Simple, simple, simple. Not our habits. That's still our behavior. Habits, behavior, actions, it's all behavior. So technology, right? Okay, so change the technology that we use, okay? So instead of using paper in school, use your smartphone. Now you're not cutting down trees, right? So Punjab, I think you got in on this right at the same time. So if I change my behavior, if I change technology, I can definitely help to save the environment for future generations without having to sacrifice my comforts. In fact, my life may even become more comfortable or convenient. I just have to use more energy and pay more attention to these points of behavior and technology. So here then, what's my thesis statement? Okay, girls and guys, put it together. This is especially for those of you who are watching this from the beginning. So remember the question? So the question is, the key to solving environmental problems is for the present generation to sacrifice their convenient way of life for the sake of future generations. Do you agree or disagree? We did the paraphrasing, we went through the topic, the controlling idea. We came to the conclusion that no, I do not have to sacrifice my convenient way of life. We discussed why, because there's other solutions. The solutions of changes in behavior, changes in technology. So now I can write a very, very good thesis. Let me just bring back for you the video here. Okay, just a second. I do realize that the video's gone, so no worries. One moment, I'll have it back up for you here. Camera decided to go to sleep. I'll have to check out why it's doing that. All right, so give me the thesis here, girls and guys. That's what we're focusing on. Don't be distracted by this minor technical setback. So what's the thesis statement? Okay, and I see some coming up. I'll check it in 1 second here. Okay, so Jeffrey says, I decisively disagree that we need to forego our comfortable way of life because we have alternative solutions. And then Jeffrey, finish it with the key points. So Jeffrey, it should say, I decisively disagree that we need to forego our comfortable life because we have alternative solutions such as change in behavior and technology. And that is a band 9 thesis statement, okay? Gurmeet says, environmental curriculum must in school. Children, should we have knowledge to save the environment? Gurmeet, that's way off topic. You're answering a completely different question. That's a band 5 thesis. Hesped Depeche says, I completely disagree with the statement because changes in behavior. I'm sorry I missed the rest of it. Just put it back in again. I'll try to read it. Manisha says, I completely disagree with the given statement because there are other alternatives, such as changes in human behavior and using technology, okay? Just make sure you have parallel grammar, Manisha, between your 2 points. So such as human behavior and alternative technology, or and eco-friendly technology. Take out the word using, Manisha, and then you have parallel grammar between your 2 points. And it's a very good thesis. Baljit says, I fully disagree with the notion that there's a need of giving up our luxurious life. The 2 possible solutions to this issue is change in behavior and technology. Good. Just small changes there, Baljit, and it's a band 9, okay? So Amar Wadi, again, it's a disagree. So I totally disagree with the statement because we can change our behavior and technology without giving up our comfortable way of life. And then you have a good thesis statement, Amar, okay? Baljit, good try there. Okie dokie or okily dokily, it's spelt differently. All right, so I'll take one of those thesis statements. They're all great, okay? I completely disagree with the notion that people need, I don't like using we because it's strangely second person voice, so I don't like that. I completely disagree with the notion that people need to give up their comforts to save the environment for future generations because alternative solutions such as change in behavior and technology can yield these results without sacrifice. Okay? So there's my thesis. It's very similar to what a few of you wrote, basically just paraphrasing. Again, I don't recommend using we or us. Just use people, humans. I completely disagree with the notion that people need to give up their comforts to save the environment for future generations because alternative solutions such as change in behavior and technology can yield these results without sacrifice. Boom. There you go. That's going to work. Vandana, I'll read yours as well. I disagree that present people need to give up their comforts in order to safeguard future generations from environmental problems, period. Instead, change in behavior and use of alternative technology can yield these results. So yours would be a 2-sentence thesis, Vandana. You need to put a period after problems and then capital I for instead, comma, and the rest of the sentence, okay? All right, so that's a powerful thesis. Now you're on your way to a band 9 essay, okay? So let's do it. Let's start writing, okay? So the introduction has 3 parts. And of course, the first part is the hook. So let's write a hook for this. Can some students please give me a good hook for this question and this topic? Okay, focus, girls and guys. Focus. So give me a good hook for this topic. Something simple, interesting, identifying the question's topic, getting you focused on your answer. Some global fact. Okay, not a question, not a quotation. Quotes are not your own words. Your essay answers a question. Don't ask a question. Give me a nice hook. Okay? Takes a bit of practice, Baljeet, but I get there. Environment is everything that surrounds us. Kanika, it's not bad, not bad. I think you could do better. Just focus a little bit about humans and the environment. So combine, saving the environment is each individual's responsibility. Mohammed, that's okay. You might go off topic with that one. How about this? There's a very simple one. There is a dire need to save our planet for the future. Dire here means like extreme, okay, or a great, grand need, okay, a big need. So there's a dire need to save our planet for the future. Very simple. Don't overcomplicate your hook. A hook should be very, very simple. It should be 10, 12 words, no mistakes. Start with a nice, clean opening, catch your audience, focus in on that idea, okay? All right? So keep it simple. Okay, then we go to the background. Background is the importance of the question and definition of terms, right? And we have some of that already in our planning, right? So if we look back at the critical thinking, at the what, why, how for the topic, then we can easily give the background sentences. So what is the environment, nature, plants, animals, water, land, air? It's important for survival. We breathe, we drink it. Boom, there's your background, okay? So very, very simple. All right? Humans depend on the environment for survival as it provides our shelter, food, and air. Okay? So, very simple. Humans depend on the environment for survival as it provides our shelter, food, and air. In recent times, large populations and abuse of the environment have led to serious concerns for the long-term survival of the human race. Okay? So there we go. That's your background, your definition, and your importance for that question. Although, and then comes your thesis, right? Which we've already discussed, so I just need to fit it in here so it flows nicely. Just one quick correction here. Although some people believe people must sacrifice our comforts to achieve this goal, I do not agree with this. There are alternative solutions, such as changes in behavior and technology, which can save nature without giving up our luxuries. Okay, so here I did it in two parts. I made it flow really nicely, and boom, there's my introduction. Now, because I did my planning, because I did my critical thinking, it was very easy for me to think about this. My fluency in my writing was very nice and quick, and it makes sense, and I'm staying on topic and staying on the controlling idea. There's a dire need to save our planet for the future. Humans depend on the environment for survival as it provides our shelter, food, and air. In recent times, large populations and abuse of environment have led to serious concern for the long-term survival of the human race. Although some believe people must sacrifice, we can just take out the double people there, correction. Although some believe people must sacrifice our comforts to achieve this goal, I do not agree with this. There are alternative solutions such as changes in behavior and technology which can save nature without giving up our luxuries. Okay? So, yeah, abuse means taking advantage and misusing it, Khaled. That's right. So punishing it. Yeah, you can, okay? So you can say some people believe, because that's what the question is asking, Manisha. So you can say that although some people believe, that we give it up because the question's asking that. You can. Or you could just go with, I disagree with the idea that we need to sacrifice our comfort. So you can stay with the I disagree as well. Both will work in this case. The key is that you are clearly on one side. I emphasize it with, I do not agree with this. Okay, that's what clearly answers the question. Okay. You shouldn't repeat the question, SOS. You should paraphrase it, if anything, but it's not necessary to have a repeat. So here we have body paragraph 1. Now, I've been blasting through the information with you today at a very nice speed. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit here and give it over to you to help me out with the body paragraph. Of course, it starts with the topic sentence. So please give me the topic sentence for body paragraph 1. Okay, it's up to you. I'm going to slow it up a little bit now. Yep, live video, it's around 80 words for the intro. It's absolutely okay. You have 4 paragraphs. Your conclusions are usually shorter. So if you have an 80-word intro, 80 words for each body paragraph, or 90, and then a 30, 40-word conclusion, you're on the right mark. Okay? So let's see some topic sentences. Let's see some topic sentences. So ProSopha says, interestingly, the one way that humans can help the environment is changes in behavior. Okay, so we already used the word behavior in the thesis, so try to paraphrase it. Some of you already did that earlier in the lesson. You used some other synonyms. Baljit, we've already said that there are possible solutions to the issue in the thesis. You don't need to repeat that in your topic sentence. The topic sentence should be a deeper definition of changes in behavior. Okay? And Jeffrey, habits, and Gurpreet, habits is a good word to use here. Not habitat, Ravi, but habits. Okay? Humans should change their habits in order to sustain the environment. Yeah. So one effective solution to helping nature is to make simple changes to people's or in people's daily habits. Okay, all right, good. So let's take that one. One effective solution to helping nature is to make simple changes in people's daily habits. Great. Or our lifestyle has spit. Very good. All right, now you're thinking the right way. Give me an explanation. What do you mean by that? So give me a clear, measurable explanation to this topic sentence. Okay, so Pradeep, nice, just use a full sentence. So one way is people could use less. So think about the 3 R's of recycling: reuse, reduce, recycle, okay? So those are the easiest way, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle. Yeah, safeguard is a verb, that's right. Harmeet, that would be a good topic sentence as well. So let's see the explanation to that. So using a bicycle, yeah, maybe. Using paper alternatives, using glass instead of plastic, sure. So there needs to be more attention paid to reducing, reusing, and recycling products. For example, people can use the same glass mug for their morning coffee instead of a plastic or paper cup that they throw away each time. Okay, so there's an explanation. Now you have to be careful not to run out of time. As one student said, hey, the introduction is already 80 words. We have to be careful not to write too much because we'll run out of time without giving all of the paragraphs. So here, now that you have a good idea, you need to be careful not to write too much. So just try to condense, try to focus in on a couple of actions, okay? So not using harmful products such as plastic bags, but taking a cloth or fabric bag to go grocery shopping. Gurpreet Singh, that's a good example, okay? So I think a lot of you now have a good idea of many explanations that we can give here for this topic sentence. The key is give explanations that don't really change our comforts, okay? If I use a glass or ceramic mug for my coffee instead of a paper mug, by the way, girls and guys, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. This is my coffee, and I'm using a ceramic mug, so just a point in case there. That doesn't give up your comfort, okay? Somebody would have a really tough time arguing with me that, well, it's more comfortable to just have a paper cup and throw it away. Really? Is that really a comfort that you have to actually take a plastic cup and put it away and save it for your next time that you use it? Come on. We can't be that spoiled, right? So that's not really a comfort. All right, so for example, people can use the same glass mug for their morning coffee instead of a plastic or paper cup that they throw away each time. Also, men can turn off, of course it's men here, or women as well, shaving legs or something. Also, people or individuals can turn off the tap when brushing or shaving. This can save millions of liters of water each year, okay? So notice I'm using my quantitative language, not just qualitative language, so save millions of water each year, okay? There's a couple of explanations and examples, all right? For example, I always take my plastic water jug with me instead of buying fresh water bottles at the store, okay? So there's an example. You could put that in if you so feel. You kind of already have some examples here. Just make sure that they're clearly examples and not parts of explanations. And then you can give a connecting or concluding sentence. Which could be something simple like, this is one of two ways to safeguard the environment without giving up creature comforts. Okay, creature comforts is an expression. Just throwing it out there for you, okay? So let's jump to body paragraph 2. I see Baljit is very anxious about that. Sure, why not? Again, topic sentence. Let's hear it. So remember, this one's about technology. Give me a sentence that is good for the topic sentence dealing with technology as another alternative solution for saving the environment for the future without inconveniencing ourselves, okay? Yeah, one example, Simran, is enough. I'm just giving you a few here to really show you that you don't have to feel that you're pigeonholed where you only have one option, but you have several options. There's different ways that you could write this. There's different examples that you can give. The importance here is that the ideas are clear, the connections are clear here, okay? Normal, it's funny, but remember on IELTS, comedy will not get you too far. You really got to focus in. You really got to know when to drop jokes. Remember, good comedy, good humor is all about timing. Okay, Baljit, using ebooks is a good explanation or example. Let's look for some topic sentences here. Pachu has a good one. Sustainable technology can help solve environmental problems for the future as well. Yeah, using sustainable technology can also solve future or can also solve environmental challenges for future generations. Okay, and then here you can go into the explanation. So there are many eco-friendly technological alternatives to what society uses today, which are much less damaging for nature. Okay? Some of these technologies include solar energy, okay, digital publishing, and want to give me one more? Yeah, green technology. Lytton is a good way to say eco-friendly technology as well. Your full sentence. Currently, people are using green technology to mitigate the forthcoming environmental change, like use of solar energy. Good. That's a great topic sentence, Lytton. And then you can go into further explanations, okay? Digital currency, sure, is another good one as well, all right? Such as solar energy, digital publishing, and electric transportation. For example, now comes your example, right? And here now you're just flying along because everything's super clear. Even if you just have 4 or 5 minutes left to finish your essay, no problem. You're flying along. You know exactly what to do. For example, for instance, last year I sold my gas-powered car and converted to electric so that I create a smaller carbon footprint. Okay? So for instance, last year I sold my gas-powered car and converted to electric so that I create a smaller carbon footprint, or so that I decrease my carbon footprint. A little bit more clear. Okay? And that's good enough. You don't have to keep going and going and going. that's fine. Now, for body paragraph 2, you can have a concluding or connecting sentence here. Baljeet, it's totally okay if it's not available in India. You can still write it. IELTS is not about the truth. It's just simply giving a clear, solid explanation, okay? Davinder, you got to be careful with using less vehicles because you might be giving up your comfort to do that. Here, I'm not giving up my comfort or my convenience. I'm still using my own car. I'm just using a different kind of car. So make sure your example supports your explanation and your argument. My argument here is that I'm not giving up my comfort and my convenience to save the environment for the future. If I say I'm going to ride my bike instead of drive my car, that might be less comfortable. On a hot day, it might take me a long time, use lots of energy. So that's not necessarily true for my essay in that case. So make sure your example, make sure your example backs up your explanation and your topic. Carbon footprint is basically how much resources you use of the planet, how much of the air you use, how much of the water, and so on. Baljeet says, for instance, I read the daily news on my iPad instead of ordering a carbon paper. In this way, I'm saving trees. Baljeet, perfect. And you didn't have to do anything. In fact, it's even more convenient than if you receive the paper version, right? So that's how you do it. All right, good. Now we can jump to the conclusion. You can have a connecting or concluding sentence in body paragraph 2, but you don't really need it because your conclusion is coming up, and that's fine. In conclusion, alterations in human activity and technology are viable fixes or viable interventions. I'm going to teach you a few words here while I'm doing this. For the pressing environmental challenges of today and tomorrow. I completely disagree that making these changes demands giving up our convenient way of life. Okay, and then the last part is the take-home message. So there's 3 parts to this, okay? First, what I'm doing is I'm restating my points. Again, I'm using paraphrasing. So paraphrase it. And then I'm strengthening my argument. Okay, so that's what I'm doing in this sentence, where I say I completely disagree that making these changes. And then, as the very final part, I give a take-home message. Okay, and I'll leave that one to you. What do you think is a good take-home message here? So Baljeet says it's never too early to invest in eco-friendly technology. Yeah, that could be a good take-home message. What are some other take-home messages? The conclusion, Pradeep, is quite short. It's really just 3 sentences. Let's say roughly each one's 14, 15 words, so it's about 45 words for your conclusion. You really don't need more than that. Start with, in conclusion, alterations in human activity and technology are viable interventions for the pressing environmental challenges of today and tomorrow. Strengthen the argument. I completely disagree that making these changes demands giving up people's convenient way of life. And then I go into a take-home message, something that's valuable for the reader and easy to see from this essay. Okay? So, Simran, drink beer instead of water, or as you wrote it, drink bear instead of water. I've never drank bear. I've eaten bear. It's a little bit weird. So what is a good take-home message? What is a message I can tell my readers here? What is something that could be very valuable for somebody reading this essay? People need to take individual responsibility to invest in their technology. Sure. So all people must take responsibility to invest in green technology and modify daily behavior or routines. Sure. So all people must take responsibility to invest in green technology and modify daily routines, since we do not inherit the earth from our parents, but we borrow it from our children. Okay? I really like that expression. I like to spread that expression around the world. So I hope you keep that in mind as you take your actions in the coming days and weeks. This is a great IELTS example, but here, girls and guys, I want to emphasize that this is something very true and very real for us. If we don't take these kinds of actions, our children, our grandchildren will suffer for it. In this case, I do want to send you that message that we don't inherit the earth from our parents, we borrow it from our children. Generally speaking, Arshdeep, you don't want to give too many quotations, avoid quotations. This one I'm giving to you as a strong example. It fits in this context very strongly. So if you can find one that fits this well, that's fine. Otherwise, just be careful with it, okay? Baljit, that would be a very naive way of thinking about it. I sure know I would not like to live on Mars. I really like our beautiful blue planet. So, okay, girls and guys, so that's the essay. Okay, we have our 4 paragraphs. You're probably curious, how many words is that? So I'll do a word count for you, just so that, and you should do word counts at home so that you know that you're meeting the task requirement. Okay, so that is roughly 310 words from start to finish without all of the instructions that I wrote in there, okay? So it's about 60 words over. It's about 310, okay? That's good, okay? Remember, it's 250 words minimum. So if you write exactly 250 words, you're probably going to get 6.57 if you have really good writing, okay? If you have exceptional writing, you could get 8 or 9, but that's less common, okay? It's okay to be over by 10, 20% for sure, all right? Okay, girls and guys, so that's the response. You can go back and read it again and again and go over this lesson and view it again on the channel. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you do so so you can catch all of our videos and our live lessons. Also, of course, if you have a chance, definitely visit us on our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Tons of help there for you to help to pass your IELTS exam with interactive courses, videos, practice exams, and so on. So that's how you do it. The key points in this one, remember, if it's agree or disagree, choose one side or the other, but not both. And be careful not to choose too quickly. Sometimes the easy answer might not be what you think, okay? So have a wonderful day. I know a lot of you, again, are writing those exams this weekend, so good luck on your exams. I'm in your corner. I'm cheering for you. Be confident. Stay strong. Stay focused for the whole exam. Make sure you get good sleep the night before. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have sweet dreams if it's late in your country and you're getting ready for bed. Much love to everyone. I will catch you tomorrow with some speaking. Bye for now.